Dana here. Hey, I've got my Echo PAS-266 Powerhead. It's got a trimmer attachment on it right now. It's a weed trimmer. Having trouble with it. Once it warms up, I think it needs a coil. Let me show you what it's doing. It's idling okay, around 3,000 or so, to 3,100. So it's got 2,900 plus or minus. Anyway, watch what it's doing. Now, normally, when I think of something like that, it's ignition. You know, that's always ignition. On Echoes, I see it a lot in the blowers, especially the backpacks. When it needs a coil, that's what it sounds like. So I looked up the coil, and it comes back to this right here. A411 000 252. And if you look at it, it is a blue coil. Blue usually means rev limited. Okay. List price is $76.32. I've seen these coils for Echo equipment go as high as like $100, like $95. So 76 isn't bad. So anyway, I'm going to take this apart, put the coil on it, and we'll see if it fixes it. All right, we'll be back in a minute. Okay, to take off the cover, top cover, you have a 4mm, so 4mm Allen wrench. On the front, you have a T15 torque. So a T15 in the front, a 4mm Allen in the back, also a 4mm Allen on the muffler shield. Take off the muffler screw, tilt off the muffler shield, that comes off. Then you can take off the 4mm and the T15, and that cover will come off. And then when that comes off, it exposes the coil. There's the coil. So we're gonna put a, let's see what's in there. It looks like an Allen wrench. So we're gonna put an Allen wrench in there. We're gonna take it off. We're gonna get a business card. We're gonna put it back in. We're gonna see if she runs good. All right, we'll be back in a second. It looks like a 3mm. So we'll take these off. Sometimes they'll have like a purple Loctite on them. If you've just run the engine, you gotta watch, because sometimes the screws get awfully hot. All right, there's a kill wire. You have to unplug the kill wire from the side. We'll take care of that when we take the coil off. All right, so here's the first screw. Get that second one out. We'll have to put the boot lead on it too, the spark plug boot, because the coil does not come with a boot. Okay, so let's pull the coil out of the way. Let's unplug the kill wire. Let's see if I can get in there holding the camera. Let's see, maybe get over here and do it. Let me see if I can get my tripod. Be right back. All right, better with a tripod. All right, let's pull out the kill. All right. And the kill wire and the spark plug lead come out with the one grommet. So slide that out. Oh, and the whole assembly should come out, which it did. Oh, you know what? There's washers underneath the coil. Well, you know what? It didn't tell me about. Oh, spacers underneath there. You need to know that. Okay. There was a black spacer left on here. There may be one that fell in. I'm going to see if it fell out. Also 2 washers. I'm going to have to look to see in the parts list where they go, but let me turn this thing over and see if that plastic washer is in. Yep. Sure is. Good thing I checked. So, one thing on there, there's plastic washers and steel washers. You got plastic washers under there and steel washers. I'm gonna go look at the parts list now to see where they go. The plastic washers, I know they go on top of the stanchions, but I gotta see where the metal ones go. I'll be right back. All right, we got the old coil, we got the new coil. The new coil you have to put on the end of the spark plug where it attaches. Just take it off the old coil and with a pair of pliers, crimp it on. Then I put a little oil in the boot and I stick the boot on, okay? And that's how you get that. Take the 2 grommets that are on the old coil, replace them on the new. But here's the thing with these washers, okay? Because like I said, they fell out, I didn't know they were in there. These washers go under the coil, okay? They go under. So the first one that goes onto the mount, see the mounts here? The black one is first, plastic, then the metal, then you put your coil on. So what I would suggest is to put the 2 screws through your coil, put the metal washer on, then put the black plastic washer on, start the 2 screws, okay? Then after you start them, then you can tighten them. So that's what I'm gonna do. So let me get you set up so I can show you how I'm doing that. Get my tripod here and see if I can zoom in. You know, people say, oh, why don't you video stuff? It's tough video and stuff, to be honest, guys. You know, bright sunny day, I can't even see the viewfinder. Trying to get a good shot for you. I think that's a good shot. Okay. Now I want to show you the coil, the way I'm going to do it. All right, you've got the, see this view, I'm going to take you in, I can't even see with the sun out, it's crazy. When you view in the sun, the viewfinder, you can't see anything. All right, let's go in the garage. Yeah, that's better. Okay, here's the coil. If you notice, the black plastic washers go on, the metal washers go on first under this. You got the screw goes into the coil, and then underneath the coil, you've got the black, the metal washer, then the black plastic. So the metal washer goes on first after you put the screw in, then the black plastic washer. And see the connection on the right side for the kill? That always goes to the right. All right, let me get you set back up. It's tough filming in the sun here, guys. You can't see anything. You get reflections off the viewfinder on the phone here, and you can't really see anything. Let me make sure I can see. All right, where are we here? There we go. All right, I'm gonna keep it focused right there. And then I'm gonna take my Allen wrench. I'm gonna start these screws, and then we're gonna go from there. But like I said, it's almost like you need 4 hands doing these things. I didn't know these washers were under there, to be honest. I should have looked at the parts list first, but I didn't. Okay, the wrench is an M3. So I'm gonna spin it past the magnet so it doesn't try and pull itself on there and affect me. And I'm gonna start by loosely attaching the, what I can do too is I can hook up, let's hook up the kill. Okay, then we can loosely attach the 2 screws. There's one. one a loosely attached machine out. There's the other. Okay. Alright, they're loosely attached. I'm going to take the grommets and put the grommets on from the old to the new. There's a grommet that goes on the base with this heat shielding. So the top grommet, you got two grommets. The bottom one is split. The one that goes here. Alright, so the big grommet, the top grommet doesn't have a split, so you're going to have to force it over the end to get it on, which isn't a big deal, but I would, you know what, I wish I knew it before. I wouldn't have put the wire in. Alright, so okay, I got it. It wasn't bad. Alright, so the bottom grommet goes on with the kill wire on the outside. Okay, so you put the grommet on, kill wire on the outside, and then you slide it in place. You know what? I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to take out the wire. I'm going to put the insulation on. It comes with the insulation for heat. Let's do it. Let's put the insulation on. That's the way it came from the factory. There's the insulation. All right, that just protects it from heat. So put that on. Then the big grommet goes on the bottom. All right. And that has the kill wire in it as well. And that slides into the groove. Okay, just like that. All right, kill wire's in, slides into the groove, heat shield is there, we're good. All right, and then we put the top grommet on. All right, because the top grommet will actually go into the shield. The top grommet will go into the shield when you put the shield in. So I'll put back the lead. Okay, I'll oil up the lead and shove the boot on. All right, got a bunch of oil on the boot. Fun. Compressed. All right, stick it on. All right. Okay, that's in. And the way this goes, the wire, there's a little hole for it on the bottom. So we'll take care of that in a minute. All right, let's get this coil snug and then spaced out with a business card. I hope you can hear me. I'm only about 3 feet away from the phone, so I'm hoping you can hear me. Alright, we're going to get this just snug and loosen it so we can get the business card underneath. I always carry my business cards. Alright. Hold up the coil. Okay, the magnet's right there. All right, there's the business card. Now we can tighten down the coil. These screws already have Loctite on them from previous, so I'm just going to snug them down. Okay, then we're going to rotate it to get the card off. All right, and that should be it. Okay, now to prove out that everything's working, I'm going to hook up the wire. Put it in its holder. Hook it up. Okay, let's see how it goes, guys. This should be the proof of the pudding. The coil's hooked up, it's timed. Let's fire this thing up. See what happens. Ready? Sounds a lot better. Let's hook up the tachometer and see what we get, because before I can only go to about 6,000. So let me get that tach hooked back up. Let me throw you over here. We'll put you in a good position where you can see it. We'll get the tach hooked up and let's see what she does. Got my DTI tach, positive on the spark plug wire, negative on ground. All right, let's see what she does. I'll bring you over here. Let's see what we got here. All right, we got the tachometer here. All right, let's get her idling first. Should be around 2,900. Right now it's about 26. We'll turn it up. All right, that's about 29, 3,000. Let's rev it up, see what it says. Back there. And let's see, max RPM 10.2. Well, according to the manual, it's only supposed to be 95, but on these carburetors, you know what, I'm not going to play with it. I'm going to keep it there because most of the time I'll only use this thing about 3/4 throttle. Plus, I think too, it matters what attachment you have on there, okay? I don't know if the PA-266, the engine supposedly will only go to 9,500. We're seeing it go to 10.2. And these carburetors, the rotary carburetors, you don't play with them normally, even though there is an adjustment if you take the plastic caps off. When you put different attachments on, heads trimmer, bed redefiner, things like that, there's different resistance to the different attachments, so it could react differently. So I'm going to use it for now the way it is, but I'm going to try the other attachments as well to see what the RPM maxes out at. What I may do is I may take out the plug over here with a crochet needle and some heat, and then adjust that high speed down so it only maxes out at the 9,500. If anyone has any information on the PA-266, the RPM that I looked up, and my friend Tom over in Australia, he said it was around 2,900 idle, 9,500 max, but I want to confirm that. So if anyone can confirm that, it is a rev limited coil, so the coil's going to keep it in the safe zone. I talked to my dealer, he said, yeah, they're limited coils, so I don't think I'm doing any damage to the engine because the coil's letting it go where the factory says it can go. But at 10,200, is that too much for this engine versus 9,500? Maybe not, but I just want to be sure. So looking for your input. I'm going to try it on different attachments and we'll see what happens. All right, we'll be back soon. All right, guys, we've got the weed whacker here, and we want to set the maximum RPM at 9,500. This thing was revving to 10,200. So it's another day. I'm going to hook up the tachometer. We'll see what it's idling at. We'll see what it revs out at. And I'll show you how, if it revs too high, you can get the revs down. Easy enough to get revs up by turning the idle screw, but how do you get the revs to go down? All right, be back in a minute. All right, let's hook up my tach, my DTI 2010. Better to hook it up with the wire. You get better consistent results. It doesn't bounce all over the place. So. Okay, black goes on a ground, red goes on spark plug lead, or HT lead as our friends say over there in England. All right, so we'll turn it on. All right, let's start her up. It's supposed to be 2,900 idle and then 9,500 max. Here we go. Number 2 crochet hook I heat it up with a MAP gas torch or propane torch, and you can see that's the black plug that you have to take out of the carburetor. And I'll show you where that black plug is located. It's actually the high-speed needle. You take this black plug out, then you can reach in there with a small screwdriver, richen it up a little bit, and reduce the RPM. Alright, it's warmed up a little more. Let's see what it's at now. It's going to 10.2. Yeah, but it won't sound. Alright. We are going to, I'm going to melt off this plug that's on there. Let me show you where the other plug is. Right there. Oh, where's that? Right there. You can see that's where the other black plug is. So we're going to take this crochet hook, we're going to melt this one off, we're going to cherry red it, we're going to stick it in there, we're going to pull the plug out. All right, we'll be right back. All right, let's heat this up. Stick it in there. Hold it for a second. You can feel it bottom out on the screw. I hold it in there for a few seconds to cool off. Ready? Here you go. And where are you? There you go. Plug comes out. Now you're left with a brass adjustment screw with a flathead on it. So I'm going to grab a very small jeweler's screwdriver and we're going to get in there and we're going to richen this thing up. All right. Let's get her running. Let's get that high speed adjusted and go from there. I'm going to richen that screw about a quarter turn out.
Now let's see what we get for max RPM.
I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to go way rich, so I'm going to leave it there. Right. Yeah, 100 RPM, not going to hurt anything. All right, so basically, guys, you take the high speed adjustment that's on the back of these carbs, and I wound it down from 10.2 to around 95, 9600. So, you know, I wound it down to about 600 RPM. You know, within 100 or so, the tacks are off a few percent, so I don't think 96 is going to kill anything. So that's how you do it, okay? If you put a new coil on like I did or did something to it where it increases the RPM more than the max should be, make sure you have the trimmer head on. My good friend Scott at Greasy Shop Rag, link in the description, said it's recommended to put on the string trimmer with the string at the right length, because that simulates the load. It's a load on it. If you have any other attachments on it, they're not under load. They're not cutting. They're not doing anything. This with the string whipping around is at load. That's when you do your adjustments on the full RPM. Okay? All right, guys, you got any questions, let me know in the chat, and catch me Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern time on my live stream with Q&A questions on small engine tech. So, all right, guys, we'll see you soon.